Hello everybody. Let's look at the needle carb fuel mapper. You're going to get the file like this. It's going to be named original, and if you double click on that file, then Excel will open, and it will open within Excel. I'd make a folder. If you look here, down here, I'd make a folder and I'd add a couple of directories, backups and original. I'd put that file, the original file, in a separate directory and then just forget about it, and copy it to your working directory and I'd name it working. Then you've got your original safe, and you've got a place where you can place backups, and all you've got to do, if you click save as, you can name it 001, 002, and you've got some backups for your data, so you'll never lose your data. Okay, so let's go to work with the working file. You can, by the way, you can right click on this and send to the desktop. Okay, so that's going to create and if we look and show desktop, here it is down here, and if you want to put that into your menu, you can grab hold of it and hover over your start button, okay, and then just put it where you want there, and then it's always going to be there. It's going to be accessible to you, so it can be there. You can start it from the menu, you can start it from the desktop, or you can start it from your folder. Okay, so let's start it and see. I've set it to open at the instructions. Why not? Some warnings here, just normal warnings about tuning carbs, chapters, what it does and doesn't do, working with the software. Take note of this. There are some special commands added, and if you look up here at the top, if you see that Excel has got a ribbon, like you can click here and you can see the traditional ribbon. You don't need that. There's no need for it to be there. So right click, minimize the ribbon. This is the quick access toolbar. I mean, I've got loads of commands here. Yours is going to be probably, unless you use Excel a lot, yours is going to be down here, just these few. Here are the commands, 4 commands, and they'll be tagged on to whatever you've got around here. You can see it's a padlock, the hashtag, label, copy, and paste values. These are very useful to have when you're working with the program. Okay, so you're going to read it's discussed here, working with the software. It explains what the icons do, and there are help files in each module to remind you. Here we talk about the different modules and some exercises that you can do to get used to using the program, and some quirks of the program. Every program's got its quirks, and the fuel mapper is no different. So have a read of those. So if something happens that doesn't seem right, then you can check that out, and we'll cover those later. But anyway, there we are. Here there's the legal details. From 3 onwards, it's basically every software agreement. I'd have a read of 1 and 2, and that's going to fill you in on really what the end user license agreement is about, and you'll see that it's reasonable as you would hope. Let's go to Del Auto. Now, at some point there's going to be a McCune here as well. This is a great area It has all the needles for each series aligned with each carburetor. So for the A series needle, it's the PHBN and the PHVA. And we have here all the atomizers, and hopefully all the atomizers, from the research that I did and cross-referencing, these are the atomizers that are available and the sizes. All the sizes aren't necessarily available from the same source, but this is a very good representation of the different sizes that are available for each atomizer variant, and obviously each atomizer has a different effect on fuel delivery. We only work with the atomizer size to create the fuel map. You're going to have to actually look at each atomizer and decide what effects it might have and how you want to use it. Well, before we have a look at the assembly area, let's just see. So we can see here, every Delauto carb, pretty much, even the out-of-date carbs, the old carbs, are included, and yeah, and the reference is extraordinary compared to the difficulty of finding the atomizers and needles to suit the carbs, because the published data is in a bit of a mess. Here we've got the Delauto D, the good range of needles and a good range of atomizers for the different carbs, and the E range again. And I've added notes to show which carburetors share different atomizers, because some carburetors use atomizers that fit different carburetors, and that should be handy. We've got the K series, which has got a good amount of needles and serves a lot of different carburetors, and there's a huge range within each atomizer. It's an enormous range, so you're going to get thousands of fuel maps from this range. And PHVB, the M series, only a few, but like with the PHVB, you can always fit a different atomizer, and this is noted here. So you can fit an FU atomizer and use the W needle to get a larger range of tuning options, and that's nice if you've got a PHVB carb. U series, V, W, well known in our forum for the small capacity bikes, PHBG, PHBD and PHVB. The PHBH is just enormous. There's 4,500 fuel maps just on notch positions alone, and yeah, and we've added shimming adjustments, and this is the range of all the different atomizers designs available for the PHBH, each producing a different fuel flow effect. Okay, so yeah, what to do? This is our assembly area, and normally you would start with the atomizer range that you've got, because that's what you know, and probably choose around that range. You can put up to 10 in. 7's a great number because it's just easy to deal with in the drop box. So, for example, if you have the BN atomizer, you know, and say, for example, you've got the 268, and let's go down. So we've got 7 in, and what we do is we'll go up to our copy icon. Okay, copy. Place it at the top. Go to the icon at the top again, which is paste values, and just click and they appear here. For the needles, if you have a PHBH, then you're going to spend some time assembling the needles that are interesting to you. You're going to start with the needle that you've got, and then probably work around it. You may start with, for example, if it's a 1.4, you may start by bringing in all the 1.4 needles, and then perhaps go to 1.2 and 1.6 if they're available. Here we have it. So how you'll do it is you will drag across. Land length D is calculated. So we drag across, copy, and go to the top, paste values, and then have a look and see if there are any more 1.4s. Copy. My computer's running very slow for whatever reason. Paste values. Let's stick some 1.2s in. We can copy here. The important point is to actually remember that we've got to click paste values. Okay. Back up, free place, paste values. And yeah, some ones. And paste values. Let's just grab a load. From here. Okay, so we're good to go. That's fine. We have our atomizer values, and presumably you've chosen all the needles that are correct. You spent some time. And now we want to transfer this to our carb data area. Okay, so we're going to drag down, copy, and we're going to go to the carb data. And we find the next free slot, which in this case, because we have PHBN and the PHBG already entered in the database with all the dimensions that's needed, certainly for the 21. If it was a 19, then this would need to be changed to a 19. Okay, so we just simply paste values, flick back to, and we can just drag this whole lot. Copy, and paste values. Okay, we don't know, I don't know what, let's say we're working with a 26, and I don't know how much of the needle is hidden in the slider. Let's say 16. Okay. This is the X series. So we'll just call that the X series. Here we've got to name the carb. It's the PHBH, so it's easy. Okay, so we will just PHBH, enter. Alright, at this point you need to go up to the icon and you click on the padlock, and we have to unprotect the sheet to enter the name. You can see it says unprotect. We just click on it. Nothing seems to happen, but you've unprotected the sheet. You can just check there because it's changed to now saying protect sheet. Okay, so it's unprotected. You've clicked on your new name. You click on this command here, which is the hashtag label, define name. Click on it, and we're in the wrong damned box. PHBH. There we are. PHBH. Okay. That's entered. Just protect. And OK. You don't need a password. Just OK. And that's it. So your carb is now set up in a matter of minutes. Now you might have to have measured the needle, but you've got the carb to pieces anyway. You have to take the carb to pieces to measure, to log all your settings anyway. Here you can put them in the tuning notes, and atomizer, needle and notch, idle, anything. You can write anything in here, and if you don't like how I've put it, you can just simply delete the whole lot and put it how you want, you know. That can all go, and make your own tuning notes up as you go. For example, your atomizer range or whatever. But anyway, within if you have the needle measured, then it just takes a minute to do it. You've got a help here, which can remind you about what to do, but it's fairly easy to see. Okay, so it's in, and we can now go to the mapper. Okay, and go up here to the top left hand corner, and you can see here it is, PHBH. There's the two original ones. We've now got the PHBH there, and then down here we've got all the slots for 50 carburetors. Okay, so we can load. Now obviously everything's a mess here because we've still got all the atomizers from whatever it was we were working on. Normally this wouldn't be a problem for you because you'll have your carb, you'll enter it, and that's what you're working on. But if you're flipping between carbs, what you have to do is just simply highlight it and hit delete. Okay, and then you can start afresh, and starting, for example, with your whatever it is, your current setting. For example, if you're on the X10 and your notch position was N2, you'll find your atomizer, and that gives you your current map, which seems remarkably far out. Is the taper starting at around 54% throttle. So I don't know whether this 16 is correct, but you could push that out further and see what it goes to, and that's 66% throttle before the taper kicks off. Let's try a smaller one. You can there's even one here. Let's just have a look at the 31 land length, which is extraordinary at 72%. Or we can come down here to 19. Yeah, slightly different. So there we are. You've followed the discussions. You have an understanding of how to adjust it. It's just going to take time. You'll get to know your own carb. You'll get to know all the needles that are available to you and all the atomizers that are available to you. and you'll be able to adjust your settings to however you want. I mean, you can have a look at whatever we've yeah, choosing whatever you want. We've added shims, by the way, so it means you can get very fine adjustment with shims. So if we take this shim off, you can see you've got that fine adjustment. If you want to identify the needles, by the way, just go onto the chart and hover over, and it will tell you it's the A7 on notch 3 at 0.34. 0.34 is 34% throttle. You have the value, which is the flow area in millimeters squared, and here we are at 30% throttle. So you can click on any of them to identify. There are just simply too many settings to have a menu. If you want to put markers, you can just drag these markers here and place them where you wish. And if you're wanting to going to make a post on the forum, then these can be useful as well. Yeah, so you can delete or you can deselect here. Doesn't matter. Okay. Check out all the different settings for the atomizers. It's amazing how the atomizers can make an enormous difference in terms of getting the curve that you want. You may need to make adjustments down here to the idle circuit or to the cutaway, but yeah, definitely look at how the atomizers bring different curves into play. What else? Yeah, well, there's the maths module, and the maths module is completely separate to the fuel mapper. And let's have a look there. And you would just simply place in, for example, an atomizer here, and set your throttle opening to any percentage, 12%. And we can see here that you get a 2mm throttle opening, and we have the various areas for comparison between the atomizer 1 and atomizer 2. For some people that will be very useful. I think there's obviously a lot more to learn about it, but that gives you a basic overview at any rate as to what to do when you get the file. As I say, there's the instructions here. Have a look at the license. Here's the assembly area. This should be fantastically useful, because this is just not available anywhere, where all the different atomizers are all brought together. This should be an absolute godsend for anybody who's interested in tuning their carb and looking at all the different options that are available. I have photographs for most of these atomizers, and I will put them in with dimensions so that you can identify them, but it's a big job. This has been a big job, just making this and bringing it all together. 2 days just to cross-reference the atomizers. So yeah, and carb data, no problem. Just that little finicky bit of unprotecting and protecting to add the name. You can't use the same name twice. So once the name's in, that's it. You'll have to do something like add 2 if you're wanting to add another carb. then you'll have to add, I think we're on the other version there. So yeah, so like with the PHPH, if you were going to add another PHPH, you could just add 2 to it, or 4 or whatever. Okay, I'll do another video at some point where we can look at more specific cases, because this has dragged on long enough as it is. Okay, good luck with that. It's available for download at fuelmapper.com. Let's just have a look and see where it is. It should. Maybe we double click. Why isn't it coming? I don't know. Oh, well, there we are. Well, that doesn't work, does it, for some reason? Well, we can just... Okay, here it is. I've just thrown this together today. I put a few images of carbs, and yeah, you should be able to click on this, and I don't know if it downloads or it doesn't download. I'll get notification. I'll have your email, and I'll send you the copy. But hopefully, this should lead you to the file that you can download simply by clicking on it. Alright guys, yeah, well, we'll talk about it more tomorrow. It's late. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Okay, bye for now.